Why don't you go back?
What is going on?
Welcome to episode 507 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined as always by my two bros, my co-hosts, Ben Askren, Stephen Kyle Brackey. Stephen Kyle recently moved across town. A little upgrade.
Uh-oh.
A little more size for the ever-growing family. You know, maybe room for another. Who's to say? Sorry.
Are you breaking news for us?
No, I'm not breaking anything.
No.
I'm just trying to freak him out a little bit, make him sweat a little. Okay, so we got a bunch we want to get into today. Got to talk 184, but first, some real news, some real wrestling news, some real good wrestling news as well.
Well, we had wrestling news yesterday. People just didn't really want to hear about it all that bad.
Yeah, I said real good wrestling news. That was not good news.
Bad. Oh, that was
this
bad.
This is good, especially if you're Pat Popolizio and an NC State Wolfpack fan, because Steve-O Poulin, one of the top-ranked number 8 on the big board, has committed to go to NC State. And I didn't know this was coming so soon. I think Nomad kind of made us aware, hey, this might be coming in the next day or so. And then, boom, decision was in. And but obviously, NC State was on the list, and everyone knew that the Popolizio connection would probably be strong there. But they were up against the Blue Bloods as well, with Penn State, Ohio State in the mix. I think Lehigh,
Oklahoma State.
So a real who's who recruiting battle for Steve-O's services. But ultimately went with NC State, and I think from a lineup perspective, it makes a lot of sense when you consider Camacho likely to go up to 33 at some point. Steve-O is regarded as a career 25. I don't know that those are real things anymore. They might happen, but I don't know if you can predict
which part of them? Which part? The real career 25? Or what are you saying?
I think you can't say that anyone's a career 25 really, except maybe Kurt McHenry. But even him, I'll hold out hope that he could get too big for 125 someday.
But Christian, we do in fact have career 125.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
But I think all too often we'll say, "Oh, this guy's for sure." You hear it about maybe not as much by coaches, but maybe some. They think, "Oh yeah, he's a 25 for sure, for good."
Sure.
And I think about. A real recent example is probably Brody Teske, who I think a lot of people thought, "Oh, he's gonna be a career 25. He's small and scrappy." You just don't know how much a child is going to grow, at 18 years old.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I meant really, because you can't be so sure, but it is generally thought that Steve-O will be a 25 throughout his career.
Yeah, he wrestled 113 last year, and wasn't like one of those kids that's just pulling a bunch of weight to get down to the lightest thing, just what he weighed. I was the one that talked to him. Let's see. A little over a month ago, when we first got his school list, and he made it seem like he wanted to take all his visits, but in the recruiting world, stuff changes like this all the time.
So obviously, you said that was you talked to him during coronavirus, so obviously you knew that was going on. So we knew taking visits would be difficult, because if you asked him and say in March and he was planning on doing it all spring, that would have been reasonable. And then obviously all those visits were all canceled.
Yeah, and I think when I talked to him, the recruiting dead period was through May. So I talked to him right at the end of April, and I think it was through May. So he probably thought he would be able to get to these schools by the end of summer. And they've just keep on extending the recruiting dead period, and we don't know when there's an end in sight, if there will be. So he might thought, you know what, I'm just going to make this decision now. He'd already visited NC State and Ohio State. Nomad and I kind of both thought Penn State was going to be more involved in this, but it sounded like it was really between NC State and Ohio State.
Well, Kale made that decision to quit recruiting 25-pounders, so I mean that probably factored in for sure.
That's true.
Well, it is true.
It is not true.
Kyle, it's true. How long, Kyle? How long is the recruiting dead period extended for?
I think right now through August.
Like the end of August?
Yeah.
Holy crap! Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna confirm it right now.
Give these kids another high school year of eligibility, for God's sakes. I mean, that's a long time. So, like you're saying, say a kid couldn't even go on a unofficial. Say, hey, I want to come check out. One of my kids in Wisconsin.
I
want
think
to
he
check
could
out
go to the
Northwestern
campus, but he can't have any contact with the coaches.
with the coaches.
Right.
Oh, that is, dude. You know how hard. Okay, listen. Do you know how hard they're making it on juniors now? And I realize maybe the cream of the crop has been committed, but there's a whole bunch of kids who have not. And school starts in September, so the feasibility of them being able to do all their visits after that is much more difficult. And so, man, taking the spring and summer away. I mean, obviously spring I get, but summer with everything that's going on, man, I see thousands of people together all the time on Twitter. What's the harm in a kid going to a visit on a college campus somewhere?
The recruiting dead period's through July 31st right now. But
Okay,
everyone that I've heard talk to about it, and this is mainly football people, are like, we don't expect it to end anytime soon.
but Kyle, didn't Texas just open up to? They said sports could happen with 50% of crowds there.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of states are saying that. I just think
Texas has got it together, Ben.
I think the NCAA doesn't want to deal with potential
Liability?
Yeah.
That's really wild because how are these juniors going to, I mean, so obviously there's already juniors that are already committed, which is great, but how are the juniors who are not committed going to, I guess it's like old times where you do your recruiting visits in the fall of your senior year and then you commit right away. That's kind of how it was, say, 10 years ago, right?
I mean, that's what Mark Hall did. That's what I think Dayton did.
But that's so rare these days. That's not.
I think the bluest of blue often do it because they've kind of got the.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But they have their choices. But the next crop down, that's who I'm talking about.
Right.
More or less.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You could be exactly right. So your thought, Bracky, is like, do you think we'll see more early commitments just because they're like, all right, I'm not gonna get on campus. I'm not gonna get to really vet this, so I'll just decide now. And
they haven't. You haven't really seen that in wrestling, honestly. There haven't been that many commitments. Connor Nopick, number 60 on the junior big board, just committed to Iowa State. But other than that, there hasn't been like this rash of commitments. I think kids are just slow playing it right now, which is smart.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. Football has been the exact opposite. They have like 2 times the normal amount of commitments they usually have this time of year.
What?
Yeah.
Why? What's your guess?
They're reserving their spots. Like, so these schools offer them, and they're like,
okay,
yes, accept. Like,
well,
they want to make sure they have.
Back?
Huh?
Because they're scared of seeing it pulled back, or what?
Well, they're just scared of holding, like waiting, and all these other kids have said yes, so the schools can only take so many kids. So they're afraid if they wait too long, they won't have a spot.
A bird in the hand, Ben. Our favorite expression.
Great thing. I'm just trying. So I don't know football. That's why I'm trying to figure out why it didn't happen previously. Because I know wrestling, so I could speak to that, but I don't know football.
Because usually these kids can, the spring and summer is really important for juniors because all these schools host camps and they can work with the coaches directly at those camps and they get scholarship offers and they get to visit the schools and stuff like that. And now they're not able to.
Which is why, like you're saying, in wrestling, it's a lot slower than usual. And I would also have expected that to be the case for football. But, and that's why when you said that, I was like, what?
For some reason,
It seems weird. Yeah, it seems really weird.
The domino here, I think, and how this impacts others is him not going to Ohio State or Penn State just cements Richie Figueroa in the crosshairs for those programs, among others. And I know he's still maybe technically verbally committed to Arizona State, but I think everyone knows that he is very much open and talking to other programs. So I think he's very much in play. I don't know.
But so, like, okay, Christian, I understand that he's open, right? That he's not committed. But so does that mean, do you think there's a good chance he goes somewhere else? Or does that mean, it's 60% Arizona State, 20% Ohio State, 20% Penn State? Or is it opposite, right? Is it 20% Arizona State and then open to the others?
I'd be surprised if he goes to Arizona State.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a bold. It's a bold move, Cotton.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're a lightweight, what? I mean, look at the production there, right?
Well, Penn State hasn't had much production at 25 either.
Well,
has Ohio State? Yeah, well, Ohio State had
NATO.
NATO. Well, NATO was only 125 for 2 years. Who else have had that's really good?
3. He was a 3-year 25. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No,
he
NATO
went for just 1 year.
He only won once.
Wow.
But
His senior year, he came back down.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I thought it was more the other way with Richie Figs, where he was committed to Arizona State, but he was
that's my gut.
Yeah.
That's my gut.
That's your gut.
Trust
your gut.
Hearing what I hear. That's what I think.
I think Ohio State's a favorite right now for him.
I've heard that as well, but when Penn State looms,
yeah,
that's compelling.
So is this the first? This has got to be the bluest of chips that NC State has had.
Like in their program's history.
Maybe Renan, I guess.
The Hidleys.
Hayden Hidley.
How high ranked? Were they higher than Steve-O or no?
Well, 8 on the big board. I bet. I don't know who was ranked higher coming out. Probably Hayden, but
they're all relatively close.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Bracky's looking right now. I'm not sure where.
Because obviously, when we talk about, when I talk about the history of Missouri's program, or some of these programs who are not traditional blue bloods, and that they're up and coming. One of the big things is, and I think you'd say it's NC State, they can make a lot out of a little, right? In these first few classes they made some really good kids out of kids who weren't all that highly ranked.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that they have to start doing to make that next step up is having these really high level recruiting classes, and and not just like once in a while, but on a very regular basis, because that's what other ones do.
Right. So, Bracky looked it up.
In 2016, they actually signed the number 1 ranked recruiting class, led by number 4 Nick Renan, and Hayden Hidley was number 6 on the senior big board.
Okay. Wow.
And then in 2018, they were the 6th ranked recruiting class, and Trent was number 18 on the senior big board.
Trent was that low? I thought he was higher.
So Steve-O, probably like the 3rd highest profile guy NC State has landed in the program. I don't know how you factor Gwiz in there being a transfer, but always being a Pop guy.
Remember, Renan was like very late in the process because he was
flipped from Northwestern.
He was with Northwestern and then made his decision to go to NC State very late.
Man, that's at some point, I don't know. It may be just too sad, but like the Northwestern what could have been article on the number of guys that had committed and left.
It's crazy.
I mean, I always forget, like Cassiope, Micic, Renan.
Micic was actually there, Christian. Micic actually went to college there for a year. Yes.
He went there.
Yes.
Surtis.
There's more than that.
Surtis left. Who else?
Oh, man. There's a couple other.
Beard.
Beard. Beard. Yes, Beard.
Did you guys say Cassiope?
That was one. I said Cassiope. I mean, just right there. And just to have them slips through your fingers.
I wonder if it's like.
And even still, they're like ranked number 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're ranked number 4 right now.
Based off like 4 guys.
Yeah. Do you think it's a thing where they think they keep getting to school, or they think initially I'll commit there, and then they see how hard the admissions process is going to be or something?
That has happened with some for sure. I know that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Some they'll verbal, and then it's like, okay, well, you have bad grades, so Northwestern's not going to play on that. But some of them, I don't think were that. I mean, obviously Micic was doing fine, and just wanted to leave after Periano. And with that fallout, I don't blame any kid for changing their mind or leaving, but that was definitely a chaotic situation.
Yes,
at that point in time. And Coach Storniel has done a great job of, I don't even know if you say righting the ship, but he's provided a lot of stability there for sure. So
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So huge pickup for Pat Pop.
Yes, big and indeed. Okay, you wanted to talk Lance. Bracky did not watch, but his hatred can still fuel the conversation.
We said we were going to watch it Thursday, or we were going to talk about it Thursday.
No, I know, and then I didn't come through with the big guest, and so yes,
can't wait. So instead of the big guest, we're gonna get Lance Armstrong on.
Dude,
he's
Lance
in Austin.
Is coming on today. He's in Austin. He's gonna ride his bike into Flo. I'm sure he's aware of Flo. You guys should make the contact there.
He is aware of Flo. He's actually on that podcast he was on. He's talked about Flo on that podcast before because we have a pretty big
get him on
bikes vertical called Flo Bikes. So
can you get him on or what? Come on, make it happen, Christian.
Why would I try? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but
okay, I'll lead it off since I think I'm in the minority. And I have mixed feelings, obviously. I thought he was honest and forthcoming. I thought multiple times he said, yeah, I was an a-hole in that situation. That was pretty terrible of me. I probably shouldn't have done that. But I think it just gave such great insight into who he was. And I'd read a whole bunch about him. That's why I think I knew what he was like. I wasn't all that surprised by his hyper-competitive craziness, right? And that's kind of, I think what turns a lot of people off, or what makes a lot of people really angry with him, is he was so competitive and so crazy. And then obviously everyone on the tour at that point in time was doping, but he was just the winner. So he was the one that took the brunt of everything that came his way.
No, but that's not the point.
No, what?
That is not.
What's the point?
It is not that he took the brunt of it. It's not that he took the brunt of it. The reason he is vilified is not simply because he was the best cyclist that got caught doping. He was suing everyone that was telling the truth about him and literally ruining life after life, causing financial ruin for these people, knowing the whole time they were telling the truth. That is why Lance because there are so many greats that have cheated and fallen out of favor. And they found A-Rod, huge cheater, known. People love it. He's on Shark Tank.
People love A-Rod? Really?
He's come like full circle because he's just like pretty much admitted to it. And well, he also didn't, like Christian was saying, just attack people who came after him. But he's like admitted everything he's done, and he's really good TV personality. But yeah, I
mean, Pete Rose is someone that everyone's like, let this guy in the Hall of Fame. People are like fired up that this guy's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he bet on baseball, which is like a cardinal sin. So, I mean, you go on and on. There's been a lot of cheaters, right, over the years. But no, I can't think of any example of someone that took it to the degrees that he did. Not in the cheating, but what he did to cover his tracks and how he treated people. And so I think his competitive.
Why didn't they learn their lesson? Why aren't they like, damn, I should mess with this dude. He's gonna sue me. Should probably watch my back.
Well, because they're trying to tell the truth about him. I don't know. So,
but a little bit it was spurred by jealousy because everyone was cheating there. All of them. They were all guilty. All of them.
Well, I don't. Well, I mean, Christian, one of them was a lady. It wasn't just the cyclists he sued. He was suing a lot of people.
That was a journalist. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not arguing
just covered his tracks.
I'm not arguing that Lance didn't do horrendous things. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing that he was hyper competitive, which made him a total a-hole. And I love the insight into that personality because it's like, what will you really do to get to the top? And then you get insight into what some people will do. And honestly, I do feel like I'm kind of speaking out of both sides of my mouth because in the MMA world, before USADA came on, it was unregulated. And I was probably the most outspoken voice against the testing. And so now I'm thinking like, well, did I really care about people's health, or was it just for selfish reasons because I knew I didn't want to cheat and I didn't want to do that, so I had to get them to stop cheating, right?
I
mean, I really think that. Like, was I doing that for selfish reasons? Because I don't really care if they cheat. I don't really care if they do bad things for their body. I just didn't want them to cheat against me because I wanted to win, right? And I think the cheating so I was very vocal for getting USADA in. I think the cheating has gone down, but obviously, when you see the amount of people who test positive, there are still cheaters in mixed martial arts. And the obvious other difference is in mixed martial arts, you can hurt someone. In cycling, you can't necessarily hurt someone else, right? With the cheating.
I think what I don't like is like the correlation between, oh, well, he's so competitive, so he did these things. And that's the excuse. It's like, are you not as competitive as Lance are not appropriately competitive because you don't cheat. Like, I think that's the path I don't think you should go down or agree with.
Yeah. I mean, well, I said the competitive part was him suing everyone because it's just like, I will go to whatever extreme it takes to get this done. And yeah, I mean, listen, it would be, yes, it is more competitive. It is in fact more competitive, Christian, but it would be the dark side of it, right? It's not, so all competitiveness is not great. I guess some people would say all competitiveness is positive. Well, I would say that's probably not the case. And we see a case here where someone did something really gross in order to win. And I love the insight into that because, yeah, that is extreme. I was not willing to go to the extreme of cheating to win. And I was really,
I don't think
really
that makes you less competitive. I don't think it makes you less competitive.
Well, I think in some
a true
sports,
competitor wants to see what they can get out of themselves.
But no one was winning the Tour de France without cheating, Christian. It was impossible. No one was winning. They were not winning. In wrestling, I don't think that's the same. In MMA, I would say I don't think that's the same. In cycling, I don't think they were winning. And now, you know what? You know what part I got really annoyed about? His son, who's probably a nice, sweet kid, but he says, like, I don't want to take shortcuts. I like to grind. I'm like, bro, you couldn't do a tenth of what your dad did. Shut up. Like, shut up. Like, that is literally one of the hardest things human beings can do. You tell me about you don't want to cheat, you want to take shortcuts. Shut up.
I was like, this kid is kind of a goon.
You don't understand. He's a goon. You don't understand what this man's been through. This guy is like Lance Armstrong, whether he's a cheater or he's evil, you want to call him. That dude's like one of the toughest dudes on planet Earth. There's just no doubt about it.
He is ridiculous. And he was a freak way. He was ridiculous way before he cheated too. He was he was ahead of his time at 15, 16 years old. And I do think he has an iron will and resolve that is close to unmatched, right? But and it's probably why he ended up where he ended up. And you know what? The whole time I was like, I don't like this guy. I don't like him. I identified and understood the competitive nature and like how important something was to him. Like I really was like, I love this about him. And that's like, that's something I've kind of always said I really love about wrestlers and wrestling is like, it's just, they just have a unique view of the world and how important this thing is to them. And that's why I liked Lance. Cause right. And then he's a fraud. Right. But then, and I basically watched the whole time. And then they ask him, would you do anything differently? And I was like, okay, here we go. He's going to say yes. And then he's like, there's
no way he's going to say yes. There's no way.
There's no way he'll say yes. And then when he said no, he wouldn't change anything, I was like, I'm out. I'm still out. And then he gave the entirety of his answer. He's like, all right, there's 3 things that could have happened. He's like, 1, it completely blows up like it has. 2, I get away with it scot-free and no one ever knows. Or 3, a kind of a mix of the both. But I kind of get caught, get a little bit of punishment. He's like, if it was the getaway scot-free or the combination, I would have never changed. I needed a nuclear meltdown. And that was when I was like, whoa, I actually think he really does get it. And I think he really does have genuine remorse about what he did. And he understands that if he got away with it all, he would still be miserable and hating maybe himself and really knowing he'd still be treating people terribly. And even with the combination one as well. So I thought that was the moment of the Lance documentary. This dude was wild though. I mean, he is really special.
So I think, right, I mean, one of my favorite things to study, maybe my favorite, is like performance psychology, how people get great at what they do and the extremes they'll go to. And so like I said, Lance is like the extreme of the extreme. And so I love hearing about it. Obviously, I think, if you could dissect his brain, there's probably something that's just a little bit off. He's got a few extra chemicals somewhere, not medically induced, but just, in there. And that's what makes him, that's kind of what makes him who he is and what makes him go to those extremes. And so I loved having that insight into kind of, and I had a good idea of what it was because I read a handful of books on him. But yeah, so I thought it was fascinating. I loved it. I thought, like you said, at several points, not just the one, that there was some remorse. But the other thing that I kind of loved is he also kind of said something to the effect of like, I wouldn't change a thing. I don't remember if it was that part, but I wouldn't change a thing. I needed all of that. And that's, I love that part because I hate it when people say, oh, I would go back and I would do this. And it's like, yeah, but that changes everything. That makes you different, right? And he's like, I love the way my life is right now. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. And man, what he went through with cancer is, I mean, it's been played out and discussed, but you just want to talk about like toughness and mentality, like, and how he was able to get through that. So, I think whether you like or hate Lance Armstrong or somewhere in between, I think you will. It's really well done, and it's a good story. People like story, so.
And I don't think you should hate him. That's too strong of a word, Christian. You should listen. And this is understand that humans are flawed.
Yeah,
that's it. Understand that humans are flawed. People are gonna make mistakes. No one's perfect. I think if we all had a little more patience for each other, we'd be in a little better place.
You know what I think it is? I think in terms of what you say, what people have patience for, it's like people have patience for mistakes and remorse. Where I think they get most upset is a phony. And this dude's a phony in a lot of people's eyes. This dude, you are a fraud. You tried to inspire people behind a lie. And you basically your entire existence was a lie. Everything you did was based on a lie.
Well, that's not true.
It's a big fat phony.
Well, yeah, it is.
Guys, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. I mean, was he a savage? Yes. Did he work hard? Yes. Now, was he enhanced by chemicals? Absolutely, right? Listen, bicycling, MMA was dirty. MMA was really dirty before you saw it. It's still probably dirty, not to the same extent. But cycling is like a whole new level of dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that is the sport. I mean, I guess I can't speak in 2020 on it, but, when Lance was riding, it was everybody. So
why does he hate Floyd Landis? I didn't quite understand why he hated him so much more.
I wish they would have went into that a little. I think it was
I felt like that was a big hole in it.
He told on him or something.
Yeah, he told on him, but like also everyone told on you, Lance. Those were the people you sued. So I didn't understand why Floyd was the one they should have got into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought they kind of left that one in the air a little bit, huh?
Yeah. I thought that was juicy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We did that. We did Lance. Bracky, maybe.
I loved it.
We'll
Go watch
it.
it.
He won't. I think he should.
Hey, speaking of other things that our audience should watch, and Christian, I know you watched it. And we don't have to discuss it at length here. The thing that USA Wrestling did with all the black athletes yesterday was really good. It was very, very well done. All the people on there were awesome. I think it will give everyone a little more insight. So just go check it out.
Yep, that's a good endorsement. Just check USA Wrestling's Twitter. It's on their YouTube page. Lots of ways to find it. Please watch it.
Yes.
Okie doke. All right. It is Bad Blood Day, by the way. If you don't know that. Bad Blood, Burroughs vs. Dake. 56-minute flow film we did about the Jordan Burroughs Kyle Dake rivalry. It is so good. I think it's required viewing for wrestling fans.
How come I didn't get to watch it ahead of time, but you got to watch it ahead of time?
Because you know what? Sometimes, you know what, Ben? You're trustworthy. You're a trustworthy individual. But you know what? You send a link out and you say, hey, just make sure you don't share this. Next thing you know, it's getting shared. It's everywhere. Hey, but big shout. I don't know if I've said this publicly yet. I'm going to send it. I'll put it on social media a little bit. But the reason this is happening right now is because after the Dake Burroughs FRL, David Carr DM'd me. And he's like, hey, you should do like a whole flow film about the Dake Burroughs rivalry over the years in lead up for the Olympics. And I was like, yes, great idea. And literally from that point, we started working towards it. And not very much, I mean, that FRL was not that long ago.
And now, probably what, 6 weeks maybe?
Maybe. Was it even that long ago? And
Maybe not
now,
even.
and now here we are. It was April. Yeah, probably around 6 weeks.
So David Carr is an executive producer.
He is. He's gonna get a. He's the one that should get the advanced screener.
Nah, he should have. I can't believe you didn't send it to him. How rude.
He'll see it. So it's gonna be really, really good. And there's a couple of things you may that you'll enjoy remembering, or if you don't remember, it's interesting. The 2013 World Saga, and everyone knows about the broken ankle, but how close Dake was to wrestling. Like, it was a real debate. Huh?
Like they almost made the decision, you're saying?
Yes.
Put him in?
Like, Dake was almost the guy and was preparing to be the guy. And it wasn't like a stay ready thing. It was like, Jordan's not walking. Jordan isn't. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. Just all the little things that happen that have, I mean, just a call here, an ankle injury, and if they send Dake, or what, all these little things have to just add up and compound in Kyle Dake's mind. And you can see why he is so fully believes he could and should and will be the guy. It's really good. And I earned a newfound respect for both guys, but especially Jordan and what he's had to do to maintain his spot. I think that kind of gets lost in it a little bit too.
Nice. Well, I can't comment because you guys didn't send me a link, so I will try to watch it before tomorrow's show, and then I'll have some comments on it.
Okay, I'll send you Penn State's next week. I'll send you that.
It looked like Tyler might
We don't
have
want
the
Penn State.
trailer pulled up if you want to play it again.
Yeah, let's play the trailer if you got it. Yeah, I'll send you the Penn State one. All right, here we go.
Kyle,
Jordan,
you can never settle this. I was the best wrestler in the world, regardless of style, bro.
I feel bad for you, bro. It's, you're living in the past, and that's all you got now.
Listen, all the science in the world can't help
Hey,
you.
You were watching the birth of a legend, like a phoenix. We've been rising from the dust. Said I hope that you ready. Yeah, no more handouts tonight. If you're playing to win, you better fight. And I hope that you ready. It's only the strong that survive. The weak, they can't even alive. I hope that you
I cannot believe this has been happening since 2013 now.
That's the most anticipated match.
Yeah, I know I got to beat Kyle.
I've been working for this my whole life. I can see myself winning in my dreams. And
Kyle Dake and Jordan Burroughs, and how many more times are we going to see these guys battle over the next couple of years? This was incredible.
I sincerely believe the greatest exchange I've ever seen in wrestling is the Burroughs-Chabonneau 2013 exchange. It is. I haven't seen anything like it. I really think that it's a different level completely. It's just like one of the most great examples. I mean, Chabonneau was like right there to score so many times. That's my favorite exchange in wrestling. That was in the trailer there as well. So, yeah, what a legend.
You know what? It probably gets I would outvote you is that Kudakov when Kudakov won that world title on the clinch.
I can't give it to a clinch, but that
was dope.
That was so dope.
That was dope.
That was so cool. It was so, and in terms of like fanfare and how loud it was, and how clutch you have to be to win a match like that. Like when you're completely screwed, and you want to talk about not fair? The freaking ball draw. Oh my gosh.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, that is one of the more amazing moments.
It's funny. I didn't yell at my kids last night, but the last thing we did was a little freestyle push out drill. And at first I said, just okay, someone gets a seatbelt, and then I realized, okay, well, that's unfair. Whoever gets a seatbelt's going to win, So I said, you know what? Play paper, scissors, rock for it. And they were all like, this is so unfair because whoever gets a seatbelt wins like 98% of the time. And I was thinking like, I should yell at these guys because like, this is some dumb drill at the end of practice we're doing. And my freaking livelihood was based on a freaking clinch for a couple of years. Like think about that when 90% of people win the leg clinch, and your livelihood, what you're training your whole life for, can be determined by that. Dumb.
So dumb.
Wow.
So dumb. I mean, Reese Humphrey talks about it with the Coleman thing, right? That if different ball, different singlet color, and maybe he's on the team.
Yeah. So crazy.
there's thousands of what ifs very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to make an attempt at another ad read, but this is going to be a more seamless plug. Okay,
Wow.
we are readers of
Oh, good.
ads, but so to tie in, to be better ad readers, you tie it into personal experience, right? So Stephen Kyle Brackey is moving. Tell your story of moving.
I recently moved. There were lots of heavy objects. It was a long day's work in very hot Austin weather. I was sore the next day, and we had the awesome RX. It's like a deodorant stick. You just rub it on.
Well, I have one right here.
Wow.
What do you know?
You just rub it on, and my arms were sore, my legs. We were just walking all day. So I put some on my legs, put some on my arms. I was feeling better. Next day, gone.
This is the best athlete in flow sports, too, Kyle Brackey. He does dunks. He's good at ping pong, spike ball, and wrestling.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Flow Wrestling Radio Live is brought to you by RX Sports, the official CBD partner of Flow Sports and Flow Wrestling. The all-natural, highly concentrated CBD product perfect for all your training recovery needs or moving recovery needs. Visit rxsportsinc.com/flowsports for an automatic 20% discount off your entire order. Defy your pain with RX Sports. All right. That was even better. So we're 2 in now. We're already improving. We're integrating it into our lives. So now,
Hey there, can I have executive director privileges? Because there's something on the trailer I want to pull out.
What?
Wow, I bet you can guess.
Oh, for the trailer. Yeah, I saw you actually smirk a little bit. I said, okay, Ben's about to fly off the stage. Let me look at his face right now. You kind of smirked a little.
Jeez,
Yeah. Thank you for doing that,
Yeah.
though. At least someone wrestled him.
At least someone was willing to wrestle. You freaking wrestlers won't wrestle. That's why we have no wrestling events right now.
Well.
What? We got something?
What?
We got something else? I don't know. There's more.
You
to this
don't.
that
You
I
definitely
know?
don't. You don't know nothing about this.
Oh, you guys are crap.
I'm hoping for good news, but I don't know. That's all I'll say.
Just sing good vibes.
When do you
Just
get
sit-
to break it? When do you get to
Good
get to break
vibes
it?
only. When ASAP, but I don't know when because it needs to be. Everything needs to be agreed upon
Fine.
yet.
The deal needs to be signed up. Give us hints. Tell us what the initials are.
You're gonna love it.
No, initials.
No initials. Are you crazy?
Wait a little bit.
No initials. I'll text you after the
Okay.
show. Actually,
Give me
I'll
some
probably-
like
not
Morse
putting any-
code.
not putting-
Tap the desk a few times.
If I only learned Morse code. I took an equally useless language. I took Latin in high school just because my friends did. I'd have been better off learning Morse code.
Yes.
Okay. We did the read. We are professionals, big pros. Okay, Ben, who in your mind is the best USA wrestler to never win an Olympic or world title? You will never guess who the number one is.
Well, I'm gonna click on Eric. Let's see who you guys
No,
got.
don't look at it.
Well, I don't have all the people thought of, right?
You would if we gave you 30 guesses, you wouldn't say
This all
person's
started
name.
because an FRL question, by the way. This
Yeah.
article.
Lee Kemp.
He won worlds.
Oh, I thought it was Olympics. Okay, I thought you said Olympics.
World
War.
or Olympic. So they didn't win a gold at World. Or Olympic.
Probably Kerry Collette.
That's a good one. But no.
Huh.
He's actually number 14. Number one. Give him the breakdown.
Larry Kristoff. Larry Kristoff is number 3 in the pins. He's ahead of me. I know this guy.
Oh, you know Larry Kristoff.
Pissed off Christoph?
They keep calling him Pissed Off Kristoff.
I believe he's number 3 in the all-time pins thing behind Shellis and Gene Mills.
Dude, he must be
And
a
I'm
total
4.
beast.
I mean, he
Give
went.
us the rundown.
So, 1964 was the Olympics. He got 7th. 65 was bronze. 66 he was silver. 67 bronze. 68 again the Olympic Games. He's 5th. 69 silver. 70 silver, and then did not place in 71. But that is a long time of being right there.
Man,
Yeah.
I feel like Colat's a
Well,
little
Kerry-
got slept on.
Yeah. He only has a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Terrible compared to Larry Kristoff.
Well, geez, those are Ben Askren's words.
If you look at the guys that
Also, they cheated him multiple times. We did. A whole
he
thing
should have
about
been a world champion.
Yeah.
Or Olympic champion. But if you look at the guys ahead of Kerry Collette, the majority of them were on more teams and so had more chances.
Is Greg Ruth? Is that Ed Ruth's dad?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
I never heard of him.
I don't think.
I never heard of him. So
I don't think. No, I don't. I have no idea.
no.
I'm
idea.
assuming
Okay.
Ed's name is. His father's name is probably Ed, since they're naming all their kids Ed, like a George Foreman situation. But I don't know for sure.
Nice.
So they did it
okay.
based on that. So that's it.
I didn't realize Barry Davis was silver 3 times. Did you guys realize that?
No.
Wow.
Did not.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep it moving. It's 8:57.
You don't want to talk about anyone else on this list?
No. Well, we could, but Tervel's obviously right there. I mean, he's very much my era of like watching intensely, and his matches were viewable. And he beat world champions. He beat a lot of he beat Tamazov. He's beaten Akgul.
Hold on, Christian. Does this include his moved up finishes due to Artur Tamazov's 27 dirty piss tests?
Yeah,
That was this one, wasn't it?
It does.
yes, I do.
Okay.
So I think in 2012 he was originally 5th, right?
Yes,
And now he's bronze.
yes.
So Tervel went bronze 5th, bronze 5th, bronze 5th. Wow, that's cool.
What a pattern.
Wow.
To give it time, Tervel will have placed in the 2016 Olympics eventually. You just have to wait like 4 to 8 years.
They can only test to 8 years out.
Okay, so we got like 4 years.
I told you that story, right, Christian?
No,
it's 10 years. It's 10 years. It's
Okay.
10 years. It's 2018. I got a phone call from the IOC, and I'm like, dude, I got moved up to bronze medal. I don't really know how, but I did.
What?
How did? Just listen. How many?
Okay.
I got a voicemail because I was on a plane, and I said, okay, I called Super back, and then I'm like, how do I really feel about that? Because I don't really feel that good about winning a medal here. Definitely didn't deserve it. I don't feel good about this. How am I gonna play this? And only one person tested positive, so I got moved up from 7th place to 6th place. But I thought maybe it was a couple because I figured, why are they calling me to tell me I went from 7th to 6th? That's not important. Surely they're not going to call me for that.
Yeah.
But they did. Yeah, they did. So I moved up to 6th.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very good.
So we got till 2026 for to Lagnev to move up.
Yes. Yeah. It'll happen. Hold out, Tervel. Okie doke. Let's where should we go next? You want to go to 184? Talk a little bit about that.
I will.
Yesterday.
I thought this article was cool about the 2022 prospects. Do you want to skip over that and save that for tomorrow? Or you want to go now?
Have you read it, Bracky?
Skimmed it.
I skimmed it.
Yeah, I skimmed it. Let's talk about it tomorrow.
All right, we'll talk about it tomorrow. He'll watch Lance and read this article from Nomad. But another plug here, Nomads does this article where your coach should be on June 15th. And I don't know, he said calling, but I guess he has to do that because they can't go anywhere right now.
Because they can't go anywhere, yeah.
But like the precipitant with that was at midnight before the
Well, so these are 2022 prospects. So this is calling.
Oh, you can't
The
visit
visit would be 2021 prospects.
Got it. Okay, I'm trying to keep this all straight in my head. But like we started this after Kale and Cody and Casey all showed up at Soriano's house, and that was something that like at like midnight that night to court Nick Soriano, and that was something that like differentiated Penn State from the others in their mind. Yes, absolutely.
The Soriano said that?
Nick did, yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay, crazy.
Yeah. Yep. So we're like, okay, so Nomad, I think, came up with the idea of we should do an article like where your coaches should be on whatever date, whenever the first date is. Who's your top priority? Who's the one you should push all your chips and mill in? So he did that for this year. So for which 2022 prospect your coach should be calling on June 15th. And so it goes where Penn State should be, where Iowa should be.
A lot of schools.
Basically, all the blue bloods, all the top recruits, who should be at their door, or who they should be calling, etc. So check that out. I think you'll like it if you like college wrestling, which I know that you do.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Is that cool?
Sweet. Yeah, great.
All right. So 184. it's going to be a very fun weight class, and we discussed a little bit like who could move, who could be out. So as I look, I'm going to read the top couple guys. Max Dean, number 1. Number 2, Bolin. 3, Hidley. 4, Dupre. Aaron Brooks, Nino Bonacorsi, Cam Caffey, Taylor Vins, Abe Assad, Rocky Jordan rounds out the top 10.
But Caffey's gone.
Caffey's going up. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to get to next. Like, how could this weight be differently? So, Caffey is going to go up to 197. Aaron Brooks could take a red shirt. And it wouldn't surprise me if he did. But
really?
It also wouldn't surprise me if he didn't. Yeah, I think he'll consider it.
Who wrestles there?
I feel like if that happens, Penn State's giving up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're giving up. Maybe he won't. But that's just.
I don't think they can win without Aaron Brooks in the lineup, though.
No way.
Yeah.
No. No, they can't win without Aaron. So
are they giving up then, Christian?
You're acting like I have the information. I don't have the information.
Do you have a plan?
I do have. I have many plans.
Okay.
So another name that's not in here that could be in here is one we talked about yesterday, Miles Amin. And the discussion was 84 or 97 for him. He's certainly a title contender here. Max Dean versus Miles Amin. Who do you like in that matchup? That's just the number 1 versus Miles Amin.
Well, I thought Miles Amin was bumping up to 197, but I will indulge anyways. I would favor Miles Amin. I think he's really good. I think he's proved that. I thought especially if he would have wrestled last year, when you look back at his career, he's really just behind Valencia and Mark Hall, and it's kind of like that same. Like Daniel Lewis, for as good as Daniel Lewis was just behind 2 greats at that weight class. Same thing with Miles Amin, just behind 2 greats, and so you move him up, and I mean, could Max Dean beat him? Of course, right? But I think I favor Miles Amin.
Yes, I agree. I think I favor Miles. So we think Miles could win either way.
Yeah,
I do too. So he can win 3 different weight classes. I think he might be my pick. I don't know if I'd pick him to beat Kemmer. But I think I would probably pick him to win 84 and 97, and I don't know about 74.
You made the argument he's better than Derringer, so I think you should make the argument that he's better than Kemmer.
No, I made 2 arguments. One, that he was ranked appropriately internationally, which he is and was.
Correct.
And 2, that it would be a thing. It would be a competitive match if they were to wrestle. You can just fight me on that, Ben. But after the day or so after you've had hip surgery, that's when I choose to fight you. So you can accept or deny that request. So
you're a wimp if you don't.
Or you're a wimp. That's right. Wimpy Ben Askren. All right. So 84. Who's coming off redshirt report? That's what I need to look at right now.
This is you got one of my guys, baby, Parker Keckeyes.
Yeah, 16-1.
Yep. So Parker's awesome. He had a great year. I think his only loss was to Abe Assad, who he had actually beaten the previous spring, and obviously who also had a good year. I know he's working hard. I hope he has a really, really good year next year.
I learned just now that Devin Winston wound up at SIUE. Mm-hmm. I did not realize that.
You didn't know that?
No.
From Minnesota. Yeah,
well,
from Minnesota.
Well, I can't keep up with it because he was UNC and then Minnesota, and then I thought he left Minnesota, but I couldn't remember. And then now he's at SIUE. Got it.
Yeah. He's
a Saluki, right? Aren't they this?
No, that's the other. There's 2 SIUEs.
That's just.
Well, it's confusing.
That's Southern Illinois.
No, there's 2. There's 2. This is Southern Illinois Edwardsville. They are the Cougars. And there's Southern Illinois Carbondale, and I believe they're the Salukis.
All right, got it.
Yeah, but the Salukis just go by Southern Illinois.
Okay, they're just.
You can blame Illinois for making 2 Southern Illinois. That's kind of a dumb move, Illinois.
How much Southern territory is there in your state?
Way to go, Illinois.
Way to go, Illinois. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, got it. Seriously. So I'm not a total idiot. Just partial. Got it. I'm excited to see what Winston can do. Keckheisen. I know they're high on at UNI. They were when they got him. Only lost to Abe Assad. He beat the Iowa State kid. That's good. I forget his name. Broderson. Yep, that's a solid win there. So excited to see what he can do.
He majored him too.
Yeah. Describe Parker. how you view him as a prospect? Ben?
Let's see. He's awesome. He was a kid. Let's see. How far you want me back? He played a lot of sports, so he never won a U state title. Started coming into his own a little bit. His first couple years of high school started having more success, and then last couple years of high school really turned it on. And really, he could never beat the best of the best. Like he lost to Aaron Brooks a few times. He lost to Dustin Plott a few times. But besides that, he beat everybody. So I think you guys might even had number one for a second when Aaron Brooks. Well, I guess Aaron Brooks wasn't in high school the same year he was because he gray shirted. So you had number one for a little bit. And he's just awesome, hard worker, good kid. Nothing but positive things to say about him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, excited to watch him and see some new blood injecting this weight. A lot of talent entering this weight class, especially if Miles Amin winds up there. You'll add Max Dean, Parker, Winston, and him.
When I look at this weight class, I say, holy moly, this weight class is tough because I feel like, we almost didn't graduate anyone. And then when you look at it, there's there's one senior in the top 12.
That's crazy, Vens.
That's it. So all these guys are going to come back for two or more years.
Man, 84 is going to be up there for toughest weight class in my opinion.
Yes,
it
really is.
The issue is, and where it gets sticky is like they don't have like all the accomplishments. Like Trent Hidley has not had the opportunity to be to actually podium, and all these guys. So their credentials aren't great. But I think when you look at just kind of knowing how good these guys are, how good Abe Assad is, how good Taylor Vens is at that number 8, there's going to be few weight classes that I think can compete with this level of talent. And if you throw Amin in there, it's going to be even scarier.
There's not a lot of weights either where, like, all the way down to 25, you're like, all right, like, is good. And, like, other, like, 25 kind of drops off. There's plenty of others.
A lot of them drop off.
70. I feel like 74 drops off a lot.
Dude, it drops off almost immediately. It really becomes like a different level. I won't say where I think it drops off because I'll get yelled at. But
97 drops off, maybe like from number 1.
What?
See, I'm not. See, Christian, you're good. You see, you're very like political. I'm good at making everybody mad at one time.
No, you play the game too better than you give yourself credit for.
Okay,
no,
well,
wait, you said 97
so here's
drops
off at number 1, and then it goes back up to number 2.
There you go. Ben's a goat. Darmstadt, thank you. Big shout, Ben Darmstadt. Looking to win back-to-back Hodge trophies. Let's see if he can do it. All right, so 84 is going to be really fun.
97 might be deeper than I thought initially after I looked through it.
Yeah, I mean, with Brucky at 7, that's pretty good. Tanner Sloan at 10, Traxler, Beard at 12, Gears and All-American at 13. Yeah, it's a great weight class.
Yeah, I take it back.
Order has been restored. And then what another way we can always make the weight tougher is just say Miles Amin's going there too.
That would, but that is where I would go if I was Miles Amin. I would go to 197 for sure.
Yeah, I think we'll see if he does. People love eating, I'm told.
Yeah.
It is a fun activity. All right, that's 84. It's gonna be a really fun weight class. If you had to pick, crystal ball, who's the NCAA champion at 184?
You do okay. Where's Miles Amin?
That's the part of the crystal ball. You have to predict both where he's going and who would win.
Okay, that's good. That makes
no caveats.
I'm going to predict he's going up to 97, so that's my prediction there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, this way I feel like the top 5 for sure. You could just shake them up and get a different answer every single time. I'm going to pick Aaron Brooks.
Me too. Oh. He is my selection.
Bracky?
Although Hunter Bowen will vanquish them all.
I'll take Miles Amin over Aaron Brooks in the finals.
All right. So his crystal ball says.
Wait, so Christian, did you pick Aaron Brooks beating Miles Amin, or did you pick Miles Amin going up like I did?
I'll say he goes up.
Okay. All right.
And so Embry goes 84 for Michigan.
Makes sense.
And I'll probably pick him to win 97. You know, Noah Adams, if he can make a comparable jump that he did last year, he will be.
Yeah.
He'll be very, very good. Okay, we have a lot of questions. Very good ones at that. So, do you want to get to those, Ben?
Yeah, we didn't answer a lot yesterday, and I saw some really good ones.
I know. I copied a bunch of them over. Best I could. Lyle Gray, what makes NC State such a successful recruiting school? Also, was Pat nasty on top? Because all their guys are nasty on top. I don't know much about Coach Pop's game. I think he probably was. He was, but I don't know. I don't know.
That's out of my era. So I never.
But
watched
what
them
makes them
college.
successful? I think there's a lot of things. One, great school, great area, NC State. That helps. They have a proven track record now as a nationally elite program in wrestling development. I think they are. I'm a big believer in process. I think there's like a few like some of the like the best organized teams that like they have really good plans and strategies. I think so. NC State is really good at that. I think Coach Papalizzi uses his team well.
Can I say something I think he does? I think he's very transparent, which I think is important. When they got there, they kicked anyone off the team who failed the drug test or I can't remember if that's exactly. It's something close to that. If I'm not exactly right.
That was pretty much it. Basically, everyone was gone.
Yeah.
Tommy Gant is the only one I believe that made the transition from Coach Papalizzi from the old era to the new era.
There wasn't a lot. It was very few. So, they're very transparent about that. This is what you're going to expect when you get here, and I think that's awesome to have those expectations. And listen, that's gonna rule some kids out right away. And listen, there's some great wrestlers who like to party. There's no doubt about that, right? But they're not going to wrestle for NC State. Right. And I think making that really clear from the jump makes I think the better you can have people's expectations meet the reality of what it's going to be when you get there, the better off you're going to be. And I think they do a really good job at that.
Yeah. I think they've got a good staff too, that can work with a lot of different weight classes. They have a strong RTC. So I think there's a lot of reasons NC State's a logical destination for a lot of recruits. Brad Cravens, I think he's asked this a couple times, or someone has. Who has the most first place stop signs from cadet to senior level?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Can we have Nomad do a deep dive? I have no idea what the answer is. I kind of wonder if it's
someone like Adam Kuhn, who like doubles up at everything.
That's a good one. I also think Metcalf is going to have a ton. He had a bunch in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be someone crazy recent because anymore, guys aren't going to Fargo and doubling up and things like that as often. Like the blue chippers are making teams.
Yeah, they're trying for cadets.
The other thing to think about too is like a Wayne Ballman who made 15 teams in a row. He might not have the younger stuff, or a Bruce Baumgartner. How many freaking teams did he make?
Oh my gosh.
And the other person, or someone who wrestled both styles, like a Sam Hazelwinkle who won in both styles. That would be an interesting person to look at. I would really love for someone to do a research report on that. And so here's what we kind of stop signs. Fargo cadet or juniors, UWW cadets or UWW juniors, U23s, and senior level. Is there anything else you guys would actually consider a stop sign? Because that's what I would consider.
No. Those are the stop signs. Yep.
Those are the stop signs. Okay. All right. Yeah. Can we get Nomad on that? Because I would love to see what the
Nomad just chatted me and said Bruce with an exclamation point.
Does he know for a fact, or is that his guess? I mean, because that's a great guess. The guy made like 15 world teams in a row.
Yeah. It's got to be because he wrestled the Open a bunch. Yeah, he might be up there.
Well, the other thing too, Christian, that's interesting is now some guys like JB, for example, he skips the Open and goes straight to the trials, so he doesn't even get a stop sign.
Right.
Because you don't get a stop sign for the trials, just for the Open.
Oh, you don't get a stop sign for that. I have never made a senior world team, so I didn't realize you didn't get a stop sign for that.
No, they give you it looks like the United States plaque, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do not get a stop sign for the trials.
I feel like that should count. You make a team. I guess it's not technically a stop sign, but
it's not.
All right, fine.
It's not, dude. Get over it.
No, man. Give us a top 10, bro.
He just sent us this screenshot for when Bruce was on the Bader show.
Send that to Tyler.
And he has approximately 20 stop signs behind him.
Is
Well,
there a
his
room or
head is
something?
blocking like at
2,
least
4,
6.
6.
Bruce's head is
Probably-
enormous.
Wouldn't you say 8 right
Yeah.
there? 10, 12, 14, 16 probably in sight.
16 in sight.
Inside. Damn, that's good.
Yeah, all right, we're going to pull that up soon. That could be visual evidence for our answer.
I only have 3. Wow.
Wow.
Pathetic. I don't know if I make the top 100.
Don't tell Pat
probably
Downey.
don't.
He'll call you out for only having 3 stop signs.
Oh my gosh. I'll call him out for living in a cardboard box.
Tit for tat. All right. If Spencer Lee is granted a 4th year, what will you do to celebrate with Caleb? Also, can you document? Yeah, that'll be a wild party at the Piles household if Spencer Lee gets a 4th year. It'll also be a devastating night.
That would be fascinating. That would be so fascinating because oh my goodness. Did you show the picture? Is it
Pull
on
it
the
up.
screen?
Pull it up, Tyler.
So everyone else
There it
can see
is.
it?
There's Bruce.
Oh, that's such an awesome picture.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, there's 16 on the wall right there.
Yup. So there it is.
That's got to put him. I don't know.
Someone
if that puts him
provide
number
me
one.
with a picture of
Damn
someone
close.
with more than 16. It's Bruce until proven otherwise.
There might even be more like on the other walls.
Who knows? We only see one wall and a portion of the other.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it'll be a wild celebration if Spencer got his 4th year.
But then, man, will other people start suing? That will be so interesting. I would be fascinated by that.
Yeah, there's a lost damages case, I think, or lost wages case.
Yeah.
I think you can make. All right. Is Thomas Gilman being put in the same category as Imar as far as people putting him comfortably in 3rd behind Fix/Lee for the 57 spot?
I don't know who's doing this.
Yeah, I'm
but
not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either. I view him. I guess I view Gilman right up there with those guys. I think Gilman. I mean, look at Gilman Fix last year. If he doesn't shoot, what happens? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's right there.
Yeah.
That I think the Fix Gilman thing is coin flippish to me. And then I probably separate Spencer somewhat, but styles make fights, and if
Christian, don't you think it's hard to separate Spencer when we haven't seen Spencer wrestle those guys? I mean, obviously he looked great at the U.S. Open, but the U.S. Open did not have Dayton Fix or Thomas Gilman.
Sure, yes, but I think you can use your imagination a little bit too. That's what I'm doing, just like thinking. All right, well, I think if we're bullet to, or a gun to everyone's head, you have to say best version of each of these guys. I think in general, people would think that would probably be Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Spencer against those guys or wrestling in an international tournament. We remember the other thing is Thomas did better than Dayton at that. What is it called, Mateo Pelicone?
Yes.
So I mean that should be counted. He beat him. Yeah.
Yes.
So
So no.
So yeah, no. I think as far as world level is considered, I think they're fairly equivalent, Thomas Gilman and Imar. But as far as making the team is considered, I think you'd have to concede that Thomas Gilman has a better shot to make the team because of Dake and Burroughs are both. If you rate them in the world, they're probably number 1 and number 2.
Yes. Yes.
Well, no, I lied on that because you probably rank Sidikov above him. So 2 and 3.
Yeah. We'll rank Sidikov 3rd. That's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
From Nick Croninger, how do you decide on the subject of a Flow film? Is there a plan that works for underrated, where you discuss the greats that aren't talked about frequently, i.e. Chris Campbell? So I don't know. It just kind of depends, right? There has to be a story there, or in general, there needs to be a story or something compelling that makes it narratively interesting, and there needs to be an intersection of fan interest there too, because otherwise, films are really expensive to make. They're huge investments, and to do that, you need to kind of call your shot a little bit and be like, okay, are people going to watch this, right? And we've made films that people didn't watch, right? And so people
Really?
ask
What was your least watched one?
no, I don't want to say that.
Damn it. Okay,
But
tell me out there.
Yeah, I will. I don't know the least watched one, but I know there's been some where I'll be like, this is going to crush. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing athlete. And we put our full weight of marketing power behind something. And if the interest isn't there, it's not there. Right. And so there's a little bit of that too, where we would love to make a story about all these, about everyone. Right. But if it doesn't map to, we can't just operate at a loss, right? So it's really tough, and sometimes we'll sign up for the loss just because the story probably needs to be told. We've done that as well. Mm-hmm. So sometimes David Carr DMs me, and then that's why a film gets made. There's no one way. So yeah, that's that answer.
And how come sometimes it takes you, Mike? Actually, the kids at my academy were complaining last night about you guys, and they were like, yeah, this Burroughs film's going to come up. I've been hearing about Metcalf for a year. When's that coming out?
Yeah, Metcalf was a lot more involved, a lot more difficult to put together.
So what do you say to these kids?
Well, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know anything.
Is it coming out or not?
Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out in July.
With the Metcalf one, we were waiting on we wanted to be there for the Iowa State duel and have that be part of it and do more interviews. So it takes time to set those up and get them. Whereas this Jake Burroughs thing, we already had all their matches, and then CP and I just sat down and talked about the matches a bunch. Yeah, and we had a lot of sit down interviews already relevant to the subject. So it's not as easy just putting it out, but patience is a virtue. Aspen Wrestling Academy. Metcalf's gonna be awesome too. It's gonna be really good, so don't worry. Yeah, there was no wait like Terry. That thing got teased out forever and took forever and was still getting edited up until the day. These guys are amazing. What they're able to do. Also, update on the stop signs. Okay. I should send this over to Tyler. Metcalf with 14. Well, we just saw Bruce has 16. I know. But that's how many? Yeah, you know what? Sorry, I brought up Metcalf only having 14. No, I thought you were making that was the claim. No, it's just we mentioned Metcalf as having a bunch. Yeah. Will you accept my apology, Kyle? Yes. That's a lot of stop signs. That's a lot. Yeah. Okay. He won 7, by the way, at Fargo. Joe Caprino looked up the research thanks to Jason Bryant. Thanks, Joe and Jason. Ben Askren, what was your favorite city to fight in?
Well, I love Vegas because it was easy and convenient. That was good. Probably my most memorable trip though was Dubai. I had a couple good friends, including one of Flo's own, Mark Bader, was there, and we just had a freaking blast. So that's probably up there.
Dubai. What was your favorite city to fight in, Kyle? Love to fight.
One time I fought in Thackerville, Oklahoma, where they're going to put Joe Exotic's new zoo.
That's pretty legit.
Or I should say Carol Baskin's new zoo.
Oh my gosh. What a disgrace. Hey, someone had a good question on Facebook real quick. Would you spend a 4-hour dinner with Colby Covington if it meant you got to embed with Penn State for a week, full access?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. That would be so awesome.
That's from Michael Novak.
Totally worth the sacrifice. I mean, could you have intelligent conversation with Colby Covington for more than 10 minutes? I don't think the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, he would probably stop talking at some point.
Yeah, he would have to.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So 4 hours.
I would love that.
All right, we'll set it up. All right, we'll set it up. We'll just tell.
Well, you got to get Kale to agree. You got to get Kale to agree to it. Kale's got to get full access.
That's the hard part, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does the wrestling nomad smell like? He doesn't really have a smell. He's an odorless individual. He's just like a regular guy. Yeah. Just like you and I. He's more well groomed than he looks. Yeah, I know. He likes that he loves that you're asking this question. He loves that he's this mysterious, potentially smelly person, but he doesn't smell at all. There've been a couple nomad related questions like how's he doing in the quarantine? Is he trust refrigerators less, et cetera, et cetera. He's doing fine. I think he's living his best life. What is the most memorable near upset you can remember? Like Caldwell going up 8-1 on Lang and then getting pinned, or Hidley almost taking down Nolf last year in final seconds.
That was a crazy one.
Most memorable for me is Sorensen Zayn, because I was there, like 15 feet from it, and I was like, "This is happening," and then it didn't happen. But I was like, "I think it's gonna happen." But Zayn defied the Carver gods.
That when people ask questions like this, like up front, I always feel weird answering because it's like, I mean, I'm sure there's 100 I'm forgetting about. That was a really good one, Sorensen, and because of the Carver thing and all that went along with it. Give me some more good ones.
Man, Taylor almost beating Burroughs was pretty crazy in 2014. He was up big. And
he's up 6'3". Yep, a short time.
Big, it's relative, but it looked really good for David.
Yeah.
That's up there.
I don't know if he was ever really in danger of losing, but I remember the year Kyle Dake had like the 1-0 match with Martin in the first round. Like, the whole arena was just like, what is happening? Like, this can't happen. This was supposed to be Dake Taylor, and I didn't get into being 2-0 because he had riding time, but everyone was just like holding their breath for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Mark. This would be a good one to go back through brackets to kind of look at, what were the best almost upsets that didn't happen.
Yeah. So those are a few that came to mind for me. You got to think of someone awesome and think of them all. Keith Gavin inside tripped you. That had us nervous for
Dang it.
for a little bit. NCAA.
Well, I mean, it was tied going in third periods too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Someone brought up Gilman against Lezak.
Oh my gosh!
Ooh,
famous gassing from bottom.
He did, and we finally. I was mocked for saying he gassed him from bottom, and then it's been proven and admitted that he did gas him from
both parties.
Both parties admitted. Ethan admits it. Gilman admits it.
Oh, for God, Ethan just gassed. Period. Stop saying gas from bottom. That's absurd.
Well, but that's when he got tired.
That's when he got tired.
On top, working hard.
Working too hard. Too much squeezing.
He was just going to get tired no matter what. No matter what position he was in, he was going to get tired. So why is it relevant that he was on top? It's not. He didn't gas from bottom. He just gassed him because Lezak, no matter what was happening, they could have been doing laps jogging. He was going to get tired.
Okay. Sure. Spay. When is CP going to pronounce Manitowoc correctly? Did I just do it? Or no?
No. Manitowoc.
Manitowoc. All right. I'll never.
Hey, there we go. We got it. We got it.
But I'll forget. I'll just forget. It's a really tough one. There's way too many O's.
Yeah.
What's the best match you ever wrestled and why? I can't answer this other than, I really can't. But Stephen Kyle or Ben?
There's got to be one, Christian. Let's go.
What is it best? The most epic one was probably when at NCAAs when I wrestled Nomad in the hotel room. It was hardcore. It was
in the beatdown.
No, I actually lost this one. Nomad and I have a
You lost to Nomad?
I have lost to Nomad. Never in never on a mat. Only in like modified like hotel rooms or something like that.
Christian, I was picking you. I was going to make you the favorite.
Well, I am the favorite.
Nomad gassed you.
Listen,
are you kidding me?
There are different eras. Listen, Ben. There are different eras of CP's health and wellness. I was not on the path. I was not in good shape, and this was 2016, I think.
Are you taking the Lance medicine?
No, I wish. That sounds great. No, I'm all natural, but
I can't believe that Nomad gassed you out. That's bad.
I got pretty tired. I mean, I don't know if he was probably. That's not why I lost. But I did get really tired.
Okay.
It was pretty hardcore. Mark Joe Cover still talks about it. All right, so that's mine. Losing to Nomad. That's very memorable to me. SKB.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the best one.
Nice.
Like actual wrestling, the best. The most memorable one for me is when I won state, but I don't think I wrestled particularly well in that match.
I don't either. Never seen it. Just said that. All right, Ben, you go.
I I mean, the Herbert one is one that turned out really well. Obviously, wrestled well there, but yeah, I don't know. That's one that sticks out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that had more potential. Who would have thought me getting tired against Nomad in a hotel room would be the
Best answer.
Be the most disgusting.
We don't have the crazy stories like Nomad getting ball and chain and throwing a front flip out of it. Like,
it's really only the stories that the true mediocre wrestlers can tell. The good ones, it's just like, I guess I beat Herbert once. That was cool. Guess that won me the Hodge. Neat. All right, guys. Goosebumps. Some real. I wonder what Jordan Burroughs would say.
Let's see.
What would be his? What's his like? Man, this was the example of like heart of a champion kind of thing. Man, what?
Well, but it's not heart of a champion. The question was the best ever wrestled. So it's not like, it wouldn't be like, hey, in 2013 I had a broken ankle and I gutted through it. Because that's not the question. I mean,
well,
I'm sure
interestingly, that was his most dominant performance at any World Championships. It was all early terminations and then a 6-0 in the finals against the Iranian.
That is funny, huh? What about like one of those? I can't remember which was there. One Beat the Streets where he just blew someone out like 10-0.
Yeah.
And funny joke, not me, a Russian. I didn't mean to do that to myself.
Well, you almost set yourself up.
I set myself up. I played myself. No, was there a Russian like in 2012 or 2013 and he just killed him?
Yeah, he wrestled Godoyev at one of the Beat the Streets.
Yeah,
he killed him, right?
I don't know if he killed him. He beat him soundly, yes.
There was one where Zeb was on commentary, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be for Burroughs. I'm not sure. There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
It was so amazing when he beat Chamizo for bronze, though. I remember being super jacked about that.
Mm-hmm.
The Godoyev 2015 semi was
crazy.
A good one. That was a really, really good one. That was like one of the most tense ones I remember watching. I don't know.
Yeah, so for Burroughs, I wonder if he would pick one of those where he gutted it out, where it was just like a really close one, or one where, obviously there's a match where he just blew people out.
I mean, the Sargouche one is the first Sargouche one is so gutty. It's like, first of all, Sargouche is on a single running him out of bounds as time expires, which would have won him the match. And then he broke Sargouche with that one re-attack where he basically like shot through his face. So that was just like, to me, like an iconic American win, like just imposing your will.
What about with one of the ones like which trials was it? Maybe 2015, I'm guessing, where he like ankle picked Dake and then leg laced him right away.
Yep, that was the 15 match two. Low single, right to the lace, 8-0, and then he eventually teched him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be like, that would have to be up there, just execution wise.
Yeah. How many people have teched Kyle Dake twice? Jordan Burroughs.
Nobody.
Has. Yeah, that's gonna be a nobody for me, dog. All right, I don't even know how to. This is like an entire show, but Robert Finkel wants us to says now that trials are a year out, how would you rank the top 10 Americans in each weight?
Yeah, that's a show. Different show. That's a show.
But I liked it, so I asked it. You guys discussed the possibility of Fix and Micic going 25. If this happens, does Lee win nationals?
Oof. I mean, it's tougher.
It's tougher. I honestly
would
think
lean Spencer.
I know I'm wearing a Michigan shirt right now, but I think Stevan is not a good match. Or Spencer matches up great against Stevan is what I'm going to say. Because Stevan needs to have his hands on you pretty much. He needs elbow control or 2-on-1. He needs some sort of a tie.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see him able to get to those ties. I don't see that being a workable solution against Spencer. I think Spencer will get to his ties and score. Although Micic is a problem solver, right? Like he got teched by Dayton. I mean, this is 2015, right? But like, teched by Dayton, and then he's like, okay, figure this out. And then Dayton really struggled with him later on. So I give Stevan a lot. He got blown out by DeSanto, and then he really hasn't had any issues with DeSanto since. So I think Stevan is a really deep thinker and really good strategically. But I just think I don't know if he has the strategic answers for Spencer. So while he would add to the level of difficulty for the weight class, and he's a higher caliber opponent than a lot of the other 25s, I still don't. I don't think he.
You'd favor Spencer.
Bigley.
Whoa.
Bigley.
Okay.
All right. Pops Redfoot. More options are available for elite wrestlers to earn a living outside of coaching. Will wrestling become more like other sports where the best coaches weren't necessarily players? Would this be good or bad? Oh, I wouldn't say any would be not necessarily wrestlers, right? But elite wrestlers, I think, is the distinction, right?
Yeah, this is very interesting because Jordan Burroughs has not had any intention on coaching, for example.
Not at the collegiate level, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but to the actual question, Ben.
What?
Well, I mean, do you see?
do
you see wrestling? So you think about your coach, Brian Smith, right? He was not an elite wrestler, but he's absolutely an elite coach, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about the best coaches, they were all elite wrestlers.
Fairly elite.
Kale, Gable, Brands, John Smith, right? These are the Mount Rushmore coaches. They're Mount Rushmore athletes, or some of them would be, right? So, would it be good or bad?
I don't know if it's a good or bad question. I think it would be different. I'm curious to see what Jordan Burroughs does as he ages, and certain other guys. I wouldn't be shocked if they find their way back into coaching. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. And there's another guy like Pat Popolizio. He wasn't a great college wrestler, and he's making a very, very good coach. I don't think being a great coach, there's a prerequisite to you had to be a really good wrestler. Obviously, that's the way it's turned out for quite a long time now. And I think more than other sports, there's a very, very small nuances of moves that you need to be able to understand to help guys get to the highest level. But I think you could also do that later on, right? So maybe you're not a great college wrestler because you don't have things figured out, but as you continue to coach and wrestle, you continue to figure out the sport of wrestling, and that that helps you. So I don't want to say for sure. Yes, I did. That could definitely happen.
So I've been thinking about this since I read this question, because I've thought about this before, and it's Bill Belichick, maybe one of the greatest football coaches ever played in the NFL. Phil Jackson, probably the greatest NBA coach ever, was not an elite player. He was good. Greg Popovich is up there, not an elite player. John Wooden, et cetera, right? These are great coaches. So I'm so very clearly you can be an elite wrestling coach and then or without having been really good. And then I think about, maybe that's not true, because were those guys necessarily developers of talent, or were they coaches who were more strategical and had to get moving parts to fit together really, really well and come up with strategies and exploit weaknesses of other teams? Whereas in wrestling, it's really about you taking an individual and making them as good as they possibly can be and developing them, right?
Yeah.
That is wrestling coaching in a nutshell.
Yes.
And it may require a special qualification of ability to do that in a way.
Yes.
So in that way, I'm this is how wrestling's different. And this is why wrestling's different, and why we might not have a Bill Belichick wrestling coach who's the greatest of all time who had no senior level or NCAA level success. There is a place for it, but I think there is a threshold of ability and accomplishment that is maybe necessary. So I've kind of gone back and forth on that.
Yeah, that's where I would kind of lean the same way, where I don't there's a clear-cut answer.
Yeah. Okie doke. 9:40. Okay. We got time for a couple more. Let me see. All right, Ben Askren.
Okay, go.
I'll ask this one, then you go one you were looking at. Someone at Ben Askren's Twitter handle. What's it like creating a move? Do you have to work the permutations out constantly to make it effective?
Yeah. I've talked about that a whole bunch of times. There's a whole bunch of moves that are on the cutting room floor, which failed, which never really amounted to all that much. And so there's all, you have all these ideas, and then, in my opinion, efficiency is efficiency is the one that wins, right? You just keep trying it and trying it and trying it, and then whatever one works the most, right? You start using it more, and then if it keeps working, you keep using it. If it doesn't, you throw it away again. And so, yeah, I think that's what you have to do. And yeah, eventually I would like to. I mean, I love innovation in any type of space, right? Not just wrestling, but I love studying it in other spaces also. So sometime I would, yeah, maybe I'll have even a longer, more in-depth answer on that.
Okay, cool. Did you have one in mind?
Yeah, well, I thought this was interesting because I think it'll probably start happening. It may already happen. I don't know for sure. As more schools add women's wrestling, how likely is it that schools will host men's and women's duels and tournaments side by side or at the same time, back to back, same day, same arena, blah blah blah, to reduce travel costs? And I would say, I don't know that already happens. I would say it only makes sense, right, to have one travel cost. And then, put them either side by side or back to back or something like that. Does that already happen?
The side by side, I don't know.
Not that I know of.
Because
I don't think so.
I've
never heard of it. But.
Okay. Because there are obviously some schools which have both men's and women's, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how they structure the competitions though.
Okay.
But it would make sense.
Yeah. Especially if some of the I know some of the teams share coaches, so that would make even more sense.
Very true. Is it weird for Ben to judge how good wrestlers are that have wrestled his guys at like Fargo and other tournaments?
No. I think that actually makes it easier for me because that means I've watched them very intently, right? I mean, if they've wrestled my guy, then I know exactly what their strengths and weaknesses are and how they wrestle, and I have a better feel for them. So I would actually say, like for me, and I don't know why it is, but we never have very many good lightweights. I have this idea that maybe it's because we don't make anyone cut weight as young kids, so we don't have any small guys. They all actually grow up.
All your lightweights are 45-pounders.
They all, I mean, literally, like they all grow up. Like we don't. I mean, maybe when they're younger, they're smaller, but then they all eventually get bigger. None of them stay small ever. But for our bigger guys, that means I've watched a lot of other bigger guys. So with these upper weights, I have a really good idea of how good they are, what their skill set is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But with some of the small guys, like I've never really watched all that much Steve Poulin or Richie Figueroa. And so my ability to give you a critique or feedback on those guys is much reduced to, say, some of the upper weights where, our guys have wrestled, say, Facundo, right? Our guys have had to wrestle him or someone to that effect.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 9:44. Probably don't have time for another one. I will carry some of these over to tomorrow's show because there are some very, very, very good ones. Tomorrow's show, Kabraki is promised an alien hour.
Yeah.
That has to do with something very concerning. If you saw my Instagram story, you know what I'm worried about. I don't even know if we want to tease this out.
It's something I found in the new house.
He moved and he found tarot cards. And if that wasn't bad enough, he brought those to work. Okay, and started.
I don't know what those are.
Tarot cards? Well, basically Satan's cards.
It's like these cards that are like.
Well, thank goodness.
You go to somebody and they like predict your future based on these cards. But there's like a death card and.
Oh geez.
Yeah, it's got some bad juju around with it. A lot of people concerned about it.
Oh, Colin Moore hit me up. He's like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Colin Moore's concerned.
Colby told me to move.
Yeah.
My mom told me not to mess with them. My mom told me to throw them away.
Monica knows. Listen,
burn them.
They're bad. They're bad. Well, hey.
I got them in my backpack right now.
They're in his backpack right now.
Oh, God.
This is not good. Anyways, we'll do a tarot card deep dive tomorrow on why they're bad. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Hey, tonight, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. I don't know where you live, honestly. Wherever you live.
6 West Coast.
Yes, Chael Sonnen, when you ask. That's when Bad Blood comes out. Please make sure that you watch it. You will like it. It's very, very good. And that's all I'll say about it. Thank you so much. Have a good day.